Okay, so we'll be starting now. We'll be starting in a minute. Just in a minute from now, we'll be starting the meeting. All right. For those who are just coming in, you are welcome. And we hope that it's going to be a great morning. Yeah. Afis Babatunde, good morning. Akim Bamiji, good morning. Adu Joseph, you're welcome. Josh Ashikem from Abuja, educational consultant, you're welcome. Stephen Owoye from Jos, awesome, you're welcome. Mary from Nasarawa, Onabanjo from Lagos, and Ogunda Riolayemi from Abeokuta. It is about time we start. I think there's a bit of challenge here trying to share on, YouTube. All right, but then I think we already have a meeting being recorded live. Okay, so that means we will be able to process it after the call. All right, guys, just give me 1 minute to try again to see how I can get this live on YouTube. I just stop sharing, and I try to take it live again. Hopefully it goes this time around. Okay, so I think we have some bit of challenge taking the meeting live. All right, we have some challenge taking the meeting live. Okay, well, we're already recording. Hopefully we can make do with the recording. All right, and then we'll be able to share that with others who are not able to make the meeting. All right, so I think it's time we commence the meeting right now. So if you can see my screen live and direct and you can hear me, kindly say yes. I like to see your yes in the chat. Welcome, Temitope, Father you from Ota. Welcome, Ogunda Olayemi. Okay, I think I've seen yours. So if you can see my screen right now and you can hear me loud and clear, I like you to use yes. Let me see your yes. We're starting right away. And in less than 55 minutes, we will be hanging off the call. We'll be stopping. It's supposed to be a 1 hour call, and then we'll stop. All right, great. I can see your yes. Thank you so much. Awesome. I think the meeting is set to begin right now. It's awesome. It's great to meet you guys this Saturday morning. And the topic we're discussing this morning is building for the future, how to start successfully as a STEM educator. It's really awesome to have everyone who's here this morning. All right. So I'll just say brief about me, especially for those that are not here in the last week webinar. Bayode Ibironke is my name. I am currently the CEO at TechBridge. I hold a bachelor's degree in education and physics from the University of Nigeria, a master's degree in physics from the University of Ibadan. I'm an alumnus of the Lagos Business School Enterprise Development Center. I'm a Leap Africa Social Innovator Program and Award Fellow. I'm also one of the few CEOs that were selected to participate in the median edition of Forbes Startup Digital Accelerator. Over the last 6 years, I've trained over 6,000 school students across the different parts of Nigeria, the north, south, and the east, all right, in schools, and led different initiatives in tech, among which are the Make Africa Tech Challenge, In Demand Series, and others. And of course, I think with some of us here who were interested in going along, we're also going to be having a very major initiative coming along this year with some of our partners. All right, so TechBridge is a leading tech firm providing STEM education program, advanced IT and programming skill training for kids, for children between the age of 7 to 18, and adults that will inspire remarkable innovation from Nigeria. So I'm from Africa. We're looking to have our goal, the dream, why this organization was created is principally to see how that we can have amazing giant tech firms rise from Africa, built by Nigerians, built by Africans, and serving the world. That's a goal. And especially so that this happens before we can begin to see amazing creations coming from students before they graduate from school. And for that to happen, we need STEM educators. And that's why this particular program is very, very germane to the vision of this organization. Last week, I'll just do a reiteration of some of our conversation in the last webinar, so that just in case we have people who were not able to attend the last week meeting or who are here today, they are able to also catch up on that conversation. All right, we discuss why this conversation, why TechBridge, why the STEM Educators Program, why are we on this call, what are we trying to do. You will agree with me that many graduate from school without a clue of what next. All right, it's quite unfortunate that many finish school. I remembered I told the story of myself, year 2013 when I finished school. I remembered that that year I had to stay home for at least for another 1 year or so before I went to service, and that was because I think our service was delayed. Apart from that, my dad had a very serious accident at that time and he needed care. All right, but then I wanted to work from home. I wanted to be able to do stuff from home. I'm able to at least make some stuff for myself. I'm able to fend for myself and not necessarily depend on my parents. But that was difficult. All right. All best you can do is probably to go for home lessons. And you know that some of these things are not sustainable and they do not really take you anywhere. Okay, because they are not long term. That's not what you went to school 4 years in the university to do. That's not what you went to secondary school, spent 6 years. And only what you can come back to do is probably to begin to do home lessons and all of that. It wasn't sustainable and I wanted something else. But then along the line, as I progressed, I discovered that there are a number of people in that same box, all right? A number of people who finish are not something productive or something that will really project them immediately. And the truth is that we are still projecting the same problem, that the same problem is still there up to today. Up to today, we still have a situation whereby people graduate from school and they cannot really take what they have learned in school to be able to do stuff, to be able to make stuff, all right? Begin to wonder what the problem is, okay? This is the essence of this meeting. And you know, the truth is that most of our classrooms here in Nigeria are theoretical. Teachers just teach theory with cram. I mean, there are little ways to really show by practice what we are learning. And that would have really helped if students are already developing solutions from school. If the problem solving skill from school is already at a high par, our creativity level is already strong, our problem solving level is strong, if students have been collaborating to do stuff together while they're in school, it wouldn't have been difficult. It wouldn't have been difficult to, all right, I'm aware that, okay, we have a number of people who are, probably, please let's keep mute. If you are not muted and we're just talking, I mean, if we are not muted and then we are disrupting the meeting now. So 1 minute is already taken away because I'm trying to see to that situation. So please let's ensure we are mute so that we can, as a matter of fact, ensure that this meeting runs smoothly. All right. So I would appreciate that everyone mutes themselves. When it's time to ask questions, we will definitely ensure we take questions. All right. So yeah, so that's it. Most classrooms are theoretical, and unfortunately, we don't have a system where we have students able to or already prepared to solve problems from school. All right, so we'll move into the technological part much later. But then we are aware that the current world we have, technology is advancing almost everything. Talk about finance, talk about health, talk about logistics, talk about even manufacturing. Mention that industry, education itself. Technology is. Recently, I read that I saw a video. I saw a video from what's it called? From Elon Musk. I mean, that was revealing what is about to do now in the space industry. All right, in the space industry, where we are beginning to see that he's about to launch they're about to manufacture another spaceship that's able to take people within the space of 30 minutes. from one city to the other, all right? So if you're traveling from US to London, or you're coming from Japan to Africa or something, you can do that in less than an hour, all right? Something that will have normally take you. So for instance, if you are traveling from Nigeria to the US, it probably take you sometimes more than, it takes you up to 36 hours or more, depending on the stopovers and all of that. But now, with this new invention that's about to happen is that we have, what's about to happen now is that we have new paradigm in place, and then the spaceships are about to help you transmute within the space of less than an hour. All right, that's something great that is about to happen. So the future is green for Africa. Why? Because Africa accounts for a large population in the world. I think at the moment about 1/3. All right, but then what's about to happen is that by 2050, it's already projected that about 54% of the entire world's population will be in Africa. And what represents the population in Africa is young, right? And that's why it's become important to take to develop that human resource for further economic importance in the nation. All right, I wouldn't want to take so much time about what we have done last week, but I'll just speak. Okay, one of those things we also saw is we're able to look at in tech industry, what's happening in the tech industry, because it represents a prime of STEM. It represents a prime of STEM. We also looked at the fact that STEM education itself is not just as in the divide of STEM, of science, technology, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Interdisciplinary and applied approach to teaching and learning, rather than teaching the four disciplines as separate and discrete subjects. STEM integrates them into a cohesive learning paradigm, all right, based on real-world application, that is solving real-world problems. Okay, so there's a course through in this. It's project-based, it's experiential, it's hands-on. That's what we STEM. So STEM is not just that divide. It's not just probably just who do physics, who do chemistry, or who do, while that is involved, that is present in it. But you will agree with me that most innovation that you have today have a mix of all these constituents. When you talk about the mobile phone, there is major part of science there, maybe physics or electronics. There is part of technology there, talking about internet, talking about how technology plays its role there. There's engineering, all right? There is mathematics doing one or two things within. So it's a mix. At the end of the day, to have something innovative, to even have a student that is well prepared to be able to take on tasks that solve major problems, there is a need to have a project-based education, all right, that you're able to solve problems practically. You are not just cramming. You're able to go through experiential method of learning. That is, you're experiencing it live, all right? You're experimenting it also. You are getting your hands with stuff, because our hands also does some transient learning together with our brain. It gets your brain active, and then it makes you learn faster, all right? So that's STEM education in a bit, all right? So we also spoke about last week why become a STEM educator, because it helps you build for the future, and we're going to be talking about that in a very robust manner this morning before we take questions. All right. One of the major things we want to do this morning also is to be able to take questions from people who have questions that are burning in their heart. All right, that you want to have answers to. So we'll be willing to take questions when it's time. Okay, so build for the future and be in demand. All right. That was if you were not here last week, you can just watch the video. We get well paid and rewarded. All right, we're able to look in a very short while. We'll be looking at the metrics of how this could help you to get paid, depending on how serious you take it, depending on the kind of network you have built or the new networks that you can build. All right, you're also able to have a flexible work schedule. These are major things that we have highlighted. So yes, let's get into what we have to do today. Building for the future. What do we mean when we say build for the future? What are we talking about? What's that meaning to us? Okay, currently about half of paying jobs. So I'll use America as a reference, because whether we like it or not, America still represents a major world power in the world. And whatever is happening in America usually still transcends to the rest of the world. So according to code.org, code.org is a major non-profit organization that helps ensure there is coding education for as much as possible students in America and everyone all over the world. Okay, so half of the paying jobs in America through research carried out by them it says half of the highest paying jobs in America require you to know how to code, according to this report by Burning Glass. So Burning Glass is a research firm. Please let's mute. If you're joining, kindly mute. All right, so please let's ensure we are mute so that we don't disrupt the meeting. Half of the highest paying jobs in America requires to know how to code, according to a report by Burning Glass. A later report found that the fastest growing and highest paying jobs require computer science skills. And that's about 82 to and 78% respectively. All right, fastest growing job in computer science, highest paying job in computer science. Yet 18% of those jobs require computer science degree. So you don't really need computer science degree to know how to code or to be able to work in that space. All right. Probably where you need computer science degrees when you want to work in the research, when you want to work in the research industry. Okay, you will need a master's degree or a PhD, as it were, in computer science. But if you are not going to be engaging in research, all right, if you are going to be working in the industry, then you don't need a degree in computer science to be able to code. That's it where coding now is applied in almost every industry. And I'm showing the picture of some of these major icons here. I was mentioning Elon Musk because this man is already becoming a major influence now. Not just becoming, he's already a major influence. All right. It's already a major influence in the world at the moment. All right. So recently I was talking about a space machine that they're just building that will help you transverse the world in less than an hour. Transverse the world in less than an hour. You are also aware of what they did recently, sending a space ship into another planet. All right. And what that does is that this is revealing to us what the power of coding could help you achieve. So, and that's why it's actually prominent. It's prominent in the STEM education space because, right, it builds on some of those things I mentioned earlier. It builds on it's project-based, it's experimental, experiential, it's hands-on. So it helps in engaging problem solving, collaboration. You can't want to code. I mean, you can't succeed as a programmer if you are not able to network with others and work with other people. You would definitely have to work with other people. The product designer, you have to work with the digital marketing space. You have to work with the business management area. You have to work with different arms of the business to understand what they are trying to do so that you can get it together. And even within your team, you need to be able to work with other programmers. All right. You need to be able to engage properly to understand and able to get a clarity of the project you are designing. So how is this building for the future? Building for the future, why? Because currently, like we're saying, yeah, on a daily basis, there is an increase in the number of jobs that are coming on through computer science. There are new and emerging jobs all the time. Jobs just keep coming and rolling in. Apart from that, according to code.org, 60% of jobs in STEM are requiring coding skills. So, and that is increasing on a daily basis, just increasing on a daily basis. So there is an exponential growth that is happening, and you want to be part of it. All right. So how do you start successfully? I think this is a major part. Like I said, I don't want us to spend too much time looking at the theories. I really need us to be able to engage. How do you start successfully as a STEM educator? What must you do to really succeed? Okay, it has to be something that you learn vigorously. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be able to. You cannot afford to come to class and as your students are having a better knowledge of the subject matter than you. You have to be able to at least go high and above them and be able to properly collaborate. All right, that is very, very essential. Very essential. You need to be able to learn vigorously. And as a matter of fact, becoming a STEM educator is not only for the students. You're also learning for yourself. You're also building a career for yourself. Beyond being a STEM educator, which could later be a volunteering skill for you, or a voluntary career for you. You can build a strong and a solid career for yourself in the tech space. All right, because whether you like it or not, jobs are emerging in the tech space every day. I mean, the last year pandemic that is still up to today has accelerated the number of new jobs. All right, everybody's beginning to try to get work remote. Companies who are not really leveraging technology before now are already doing that. Even payment Even payment is being driven now technologically, all right? Recently, the government of Nigeria is trying to ban cryptocurrency, and we know the number of, outcries that followed that, all right? And there's still a lot of push now that they're going to stop that. But while that is happening even here in Nigeria, because the government is not really seeing into the future, because it will eventually happen, we are seeing countries that are already adopting it into their own policies. All right, we are seeing nations who are already bringing payment system. All right, automated payment machines that you can transact with Bitcoin. So a lot is beginning to happen even in the payment space. So talk about any space. If you're an accountant, because I've seen a number of people who have reached out to me. What if I don't have a STEM background? What if I didn't study science or tech from my own background? We have seen that only 18% of that entire massive job space will be requiring requiring computer science, or you to come from a STEM background. So you can, all that you need is the attitude to want to learn, of course, the attitude, the time to also commit to learn. You are going to encounter problems, to be able to solve with other people, to be able to collaborate. All right, so that will move me to the next thing. How do you start successfully? Another thing is you need to be able to create and champion projects. Okay, that's crucial. And that's one of those things we're going to be doing together. For those people who are going to be joining the Certified STEM Instructors Program, you need to be able to create and champion projects in your community, in the space where you belong to. You need to be able to create partnerships with organizations, with NGOs, with churches, with schools, with private organizations. You need to be able to champion projects. You need to be able to show what that project will help their organization achieve. If you're able to train students, how does it have a ripple effect on their organization's growth? You need to be able to champion projects that have direct impact on the community, on the states, on the local government. I mean, when you're able to think in that respect, it becomes very easy for you to even leverage on whatever you're taking from here to make stuff happen. And then before you know it, that could be a springboard for you to even go to the next thing, because this may not be your final bus stop. All right, once you acquire a tech skill, you become limitless. It just opens a wide door before you. Opportunities becomes wide. You just have large lobster of opportunities. All right, so we have, as a matter of fact, I know that there are careers that are available that you, even after you spend 35 years, you can't dream of having a 3 million naira salary per month in Nigeria. But I can tell you that if you do the right skill competence, I mean, you can get to a point whereby they will have to beg you to even fake that. That's number one. And then you take a share of the company because of the skill you have. So that means that beyond what you are getting per month, you are also building a future for yourself in that organization. So it's a very large sum. Now just imagine that you are so good that it is seen in the international community, and international companies are beginning to reach out to you directly. That's a major stuff. So beyond what you are doing, working as a STEM educator, you probably can develop solutions for organizations. And apart from that, you have projects that are coming by the sides. All right. And so it just gives you a new level. Right. So apart from that, collaboration. I hope everybody can hear me, because I think I've been talking. Please, I just need I need us to confirm. If you can hear me loud and clear, I need you to say yes in the chat. Am I loud and clear? Can you hear me? All right, great. Okay. Okay, thanks. Awesome. So collaboration is key. Collaboration is key. You need to be able to collaborate. You need to be able to work with other people. It is very essential. You can't stand alone. Trying to stand alone to do stuff will just shorten you of the opportunities that you can have. All right. So you need to be able to actively collaborate with other people, to work with other people. You need to be able to galvanize action and get people to see into your dream, into your vision, into what you want to do. You need to be able to galvanize action. You need to be able to gather people together. Very crucial to succeed as a STEM educator. So in a bit of a moment, I would also discuss about the Certified STEM Instructors Program. But then before we move ahead, I'd like to take probably one or two insights. If you have an insight about what we're discussing here, or you have a question about what I've already mentioned, I need one or two people now to talk. If you have anything If you have a question or you have an addition. Okay, I see Haruna, you're raising up your hand. If you want to say something, you can unmute and talk. If you have a question or you have need some clarification about what we've discussed already, you can do that right away. But then if we do not have, I'll just move on to the next conversation, which should be majorly about the Certified STEM Instructors Program. Okay, I'll be discussing how this is of a major benefit to those who are participating. To those that belong to the WhatsApp group that we created, we have we've shared you already have the registration page, the registration link. So I will drop in that again just in case there's anybody here who hasn't registered, all right, but who is here on the call. All right, so it's a major program that will help you achieve some of these things that we have mentioned earlier. Okay, and then beyond that, what are the offerings that it comes along with? All right, what are those things that the Certified STEM Instructors Program helps you to do? It gives you an opportunity to join the TechBridge team. In the last slide, I did mention the importance of collaboration, importance of working with other people. All right, importance of championing projects, not just projects that transcend nationally, projects that could go international. All right, that could have international partners, that could also give you some sledge on your badge, that could give you some strong recognition on your badge as to what you are doing, and that could also give you some level of leadership prowess. All right, probably in your locality or in your region. We're looking at having people who become regional partners or who become regional representatives, who will be championing whatever we're doing in their space. All right, so there's a lot that's coming in that space. So the program, after the 4 weeks program, please let us stay in it. All right. All right, so what that does is that it helps you to join the TechBridge team, and you're able to co-design and develop programs and even international competition with us. Beyond that, you are also able to earn per student. We are going to be creating different, and this is going to be discussed in a more clearer term with those people who are participating in the program. Okay, our partnership with Grok Learning and the Australian Computing Academy affords that we can leverage on their platform, all right, to get many more students trained, even e-learning wise. They don't have to gather in any space. They can learn from their phone. But then for those people who are championing it, because there will be need for behind the scene instructors, people who are able to request, who are able to answer students' requests, who are able to help them go through a difficult task, who are able to answer some of their questions when they need to have questions. And then when there's a need for competition, we are able to mobilize students into those competitions, or even mobilize students into the platform. So depending on the number of students you can reach in your community, maybe the number of schools you're able to get to participate or to log on, you're able to take earnings on them. That will be discussed in full scope in the last week of the Certified STEM Instructors Program. But then it gives a strong earning right. You also have a free subscription to learn on the Grok Learning platform. All right. Currently, we're working on developing a platform for Africa. All right, that is fully represented with TechBridge. Currently, if you go to the website of the company, you may not see us fully represented there because it's still a work in progress. And one of those things we also want to be able to do is to be able to get trainers or instructors that are trained by both organizations locked onto the platform. By the time we log you in, we can now develop a full, because whatever is there now is more Australian, is more New Zealand and other countries. So, but then we are trying to also put in getting the continent on that platform, and then we're able to work together. I just mentioned, I just talked about collaboration. Our collaboration is essential. Our collaboration is key, and that just tells you what the power of collaboration could do. So you want to look forward to that space. Okay, so it also helps you to further develop your competence before beyond training students. One of the things that you get to do is you get to experience project management. You get to experience business rights. You also you learn beyond teaching in classroom. All right, you get to work with other STEM educators who are also projecting their careers into software development. Okay, So that helps a lot. Okay, so you are being, it's an opportunity that I'm sure will galvanize into many stuff, into a lot of opportunities. So what else are we going to be seeing? What are the other offerings that are possible? Some of the other offerings that are possible is you also have different categories here. You can see what I'm listing on my screen. A number of people have also asked me, how is it possible to make 206,000 per month as a STEM educator? And you know, I do answer that this is very, very possible. This is very possible. Okay, and this is one of the least case study possible. So you can just begin to think within your brain, how many schools do I have in my community? All right, how many churches do I have in my community? Because let me tell you now, 90% of parents want their kids to learn coding. You want to prepare your kids for the future of work. You want to ensure that your kid doesn't finish school and then is casting around for jobs. So if technology is a world that is championing a lot of course now, you want to ensure that your kid is better prepared for such opportunity. So a lot of parents are really, really looking, they are very, very anxious to get their kids learn. Okay, and even when you have parents who cannot really afford the service, you have a lot of organizations that is just looking for a strong and valuable brand to partner with. And that's why we are also here, and we're expanding the scheme and getting you in, because it brings credibility into the system, and then everybody's able to coast through. All right, so starting with it, just imagine you have in the category of schools or church or other aggregators, you have aggregators means probably you have an NGO who is able to gather children, or maybe even in your own community to be able to have you have a scheme, or you have belong to that gather about 50 students at a time, and then just promote. Okay, that's about 18,000 naira in a year, and that is if all you are just doing is per term. We have done this per term. 3 times makes a year, and then 3 months makes a term. So if you multiply that as 2,000 times what? That's 2,000 times 3 times 3. So 2,000 times 3, that's 6 times 3, that's 18,000. In a year, you are making just on that, just on 200 students, and it could be more. You could have more than 4 schools, because this is taken on 4 schools. That if the worst you can do is just 4 schools. Imagine if you're able to get 6 schools, and you're also able to get other people work with you. What will happen? The implication is that you have about 3,600 students. 3.6 million per year. So that's the implication. Then beyond that, after school program. After school program means that when students are currently on school now, so for instance, we do online training, we do virtual training that helps students to learn. Okay, so those virtual programs, students are also participating. So just imagine you're able to get just 20, maybe sign up for your virtual class, be able to train with you online. And this goes beyond Nigeria. All right, and that's why we do training. That's why the training even for instructors is going to be happening online, because some of the instructors at the later part of the training are not going to be Nigerian, because by the time we start engaging grok learning after the 4 weeks, they are in Australia. So it's not going to be, because some people are just so addicted to the physical class engagement, and they believe that online doesn't work. But then I tell you it works. Last year we trained over 100 students between the July, that's when the pandemic was at its peak, till December. We were able to do over 100 students online. I'm talking about children here, not even talking about adults. For adults, it was huge, because we were having a lot of webinar last year and a lot of also engagement, the Make Africa Tech Challenge and all of that stuff. So I can tell you that the experience teaching online is solid, it's fantastic. All you need is good internet. And if you are currently on this call, you can hear me clearly, just this teaching can go, and you can ask questions. All right, so after school, 20 students, imagine you can do private classes, 5, maybe you have 5 students distributed from anywhere across the world. And we're going to be creating a landing page for each instructor so that it becomes easy to get students. So at the end of the day, you have about 8.5 million per year. Just imagine you cannot even do this. You can just do 1/4 of this. That is still more than 200,000 naira per month by the time you divide it by 12. So I tell you, there's a lot that is possible. So beyond even what you're charging students, there's the e-learning platform that you're taking commission of, that is hosted by Grok Learning. There is robotics kits that you're going to also be selling to some students that are interested in robotics. Remember that for those people who are also participating in the Certified STEM Instructors Program, after the 4 weeks, you're also going to be doing another 2 weeks boot camp for robotics. That's going to be free. However, the robotics kit, you're going to be purchasing it anyway. But then the version 2 is that you can have the understanding of that kit, and if only what you are just doing is selling robotics kits, helping to champion the robotics kits distribution to parents who need this for their kids, you are doing a lot of stuff from that space. So yeah, and that's why it's really a big deal for those who be interested. So for the 4 weeks, how is it going to be distributed? We have divided it into 2 tracks. For those who are interested in web programming, the first week will be Scratch programming for everybody. Apart from the 4 hours of learning, which will be during the week, the training will be during the week, usually in the evening. That will be decided with those who have paid on their first engagement. But then it should be usually in the evening between the hours of 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It could also be further adjusted into a more convenient time for the entire class, depending on the group that you belong to. All right. But then the first 1 week, the first 4 hours, which is in the first 1 week, will be Scratch programming. Okay. And that Scratch programming, you are also, apart from the 4 hours of learning, you need about 6 or 8 hours additional personal learning, because you will have to engage projects, do a lot of stuff on your own. So Scratch programming, and then apart from Scratch programming, it's going to be web programming. Okay, web programming is in the 2nd to the 4th week. In the 2nd to the 4th week. So in the 2nd to the 4th week, you are going to be engaging web programming, and then that's the group web programming and Python together. It's not something you can handle together. In fact, the 3 weeks is not enough to really get the rock bottom of web programming, but it's enough for you to grasp what you need to be able to train a kid, a child, right? But then as the journey proceeds, since you are now into the system, you can progress your learning. You can expand your learning beyond what that will cover, all right? So the training, like I've said, I think I've overemphasized that it's going to be online, it's going to be on Zoom, just like we're currently having. And then you'll be able to engage with your instructor. So those who are picking Python, after the first week for Scratch, the 2nd week will be for Python programming. Okay, am I not audible again? Hello, can we hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, audible enough.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
We can hear you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Hello?
Right. Thanks. Okay, so the 2nd track is Python programming. So you see that you are picking web or you are picking Python programming. That's also going to be from the 2nd to the 4th week, 3 weeks. But like I said, take it from me, the truth is that you cannot get the whole of Python programming in 3 weeks. But then you have what is sufficient for you to be able to train a child. So, but then after that 3 weeks, after the 4 weeks training, some of this training still progress. Even on the job, you still keep learning. And that's why I said learn vigorously. Within the training, beyond the 4 weeks in class, you need to be able to learn. So if you cannot hear, probably somebody could help me drop a chat for people who are not having their audio connected. So there's an icon below their screen that says join audio, so they can join audio. All right. So I think I've also explained that after that 4 weeks, there's going to be robotics training and all of that coming along. So all the details will be shared with those who are paid. So I think at this junction, I like to take questions. I think I'm already seeing some questions in the chat. I'll take them now. Somebody is asking how much robotics kit is training going to be on Zoom? Yes, the training is going to be on Zoom. It's going to be on Zoom. And then we are going to also use Google Classroom. Google Classroom allows people to collaborate just like a classroom. You can send charts, you can see stuff together, you can ask your fellow students questions. I'm having difficulty in this place. Hey, who could help me, or who has gone through this? We are given this project, and then you're able to sort through. So the cost for the CSIP program at the moment is 35,000. Last week it was 27,500, but then it was 25,000, 27,500 last week. But then we're going to be giving opportunity to those who are currently on this call. So if you're on this call and you have not, if you're on this call and you have not paid, and you are still willing to get in, if you're able to pay within the next, 36 hours, you still have the opportunity to do that at 27,500. But it's only meant for those people who are currently on this call. I can tell you that We've taken attendance of people who are currently on this call, all right? And so we know those people who are currently here. Payment can be made instrumental, but has to be balanced before the training commences. Before the training commences on February 20, or fully to be the week that follows, the Monday that follows. That's when the full-fledged classroom training commences. So you have to be able to have balanced your training before the first class starts. So if you can balance for then, cool. If you want to break it before that time, good. Animation. Animation is not part of what's on the scheme. However, those are part of courses that will roll in when you already belong to the STEM educators community, when you already absorbed into our community. Those are part of the conversations that are ongoing that you will latch on. So, and that will come free at that point. You don't have to pay for that if you have interest in animation. And it may not be bad to, so generally, I think okay, so I mean, I'm seeing. Hello, sorry, I think I'm having some. I'm having some disruption. Okay. Okay, so the recording of the meeting will be made available. The recording of the meeting will be made available. I'm going to be answering other questions that are coming on the chat. If you have other questions, please let's keep it coming. I'm going to take all of them in a moment. I'm trying to ensure that we have our screen grabbed. All right. So please, if you're on the call, I appreciate if you can put on your video. If you can put on your video for just 1 minute, let's take a snapshot of what we are doing here. I think what we're having here is awesome. I think it's laudable. I think we need to be able to show the world. So if you are here, please kindly put on your video. If you can do that, put on your video. Great. I can see people already putting on their video. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. All right. So yeah. Okay. So please, a number of people who is not having their video on. I'll be taking other questions in a moment. But please, if you can put on your video, we'll kind of appreciate you to put on your video. All right. So thanks everybody for the opportunity. Okay, so yeah, I'm taking it now. 1, 2, go. All right. Yeah, done. Thanks. Thanks. All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Please, I have a question.
All right. Please go on.
My question is, can you please brief us what the background of Python and Java? What it's all about, so that I can know what I
okay,
have the background, so we know where
can you take the question again?
I said, can you summarize or give us an hint into Python and Java, so that I can know which one to choose out of the two programs?
Okay, you want to understand?
For somebody like me, I already do HTML, CSS. I'm learning Java currently now, JavaScript.
Okay.
But I don't know much about Python. Can you say 1 or 2 things about it so that we know which one to go for?
Okay, so I would explain in a bit of a moment. I also think some of the questions that are in the chat. I can see somebody saying, "What about App Inventor?" All right. So App Inventor too is very rich going to be part of the program. Especially for the secondary school students. Yeah, they're going to be going through App Inventor. But then at the moment, we can't really cluster a lot of training into the 4 weeks. So we are picking some of the most prominent, some of those ones that we have seen that parents have really demanded for in the past 2 years that we have been engaging now. We have also sought through research. So we're just picking the top courses. Python is pretty high demand. Scratch program is pretty high demand because, as a matter of fact, kids need to even start with Scratch before they can move on to some other stuff. there's Blockly. Even apart from Scratch, there is Blockly, there is Thoughtful, all right? So there's a lot of stuffs that are in the bulk. We can't really take everything at a time, but then these are part of courses that some people will be specializing on. Once you have the basics, you just have to have at least one of those ones that we have mentioned. We are going to be having people who are specializing in one or two of these other fields. So for the question on Python and Java, I can see somebody sharing screen. Please, you should stop sharing. I think I can stop. I can stop participants from sharing. Okay. Okay, great. So please, like I said, there are prominent courses. There are courses that are prominent among those courses that have been mentioned. But then for Java and Python, okay, so for instance, there are more demands from parents saying that they want their kids to learn Python program. There are more demands. As a matter of fact, to even learn HTML and CSS is easier for kids than to start with JavaScript or to start with Java, as it were. So you want to have what is easier for the kids first. So, but then for kids who are already doing well with the basics and they want to go and do Java, of course, if we have an expert in Java, we'll absorb them here. We'll take those calls for that purposes. So I'll be asking what are the material and gadgets needed for the training? For the training, what are the other gadgets that are needed for the training? Okay, can we still hear me? Please, if you can hear me, just say yes in the chat. I need to be sure that my network is not already messing up.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I hear you clear.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we can hear you.
So,
we can hear you.
materials needed. Okay, thanks. The materials needed for the training, number one, you need strong internet. You need to have a good internet. You need to have a laptop. So if you're not having a laptop, you're already screened out. If you're not having a laptop, you can't participate. What other thing? I think those are the two major, and then your time. You have to be available. You have answers. Okay, so I mean, to take class. I mean, so what times are the class going to be? Because of some of us at work, it's going to be during the week, and it's going to usually be between the hours of 6 to 8 in the evening. The class can be more flexible in terms of timing. By the time we check each classes, we're able to check what time is more favorable. But I can tell you, it's during the week. It's going to be in the evening time, majorly between 6 to 8. It could even be as far as 9 p.m. All right, so as to make allowance for those people who have gone to work and who are coming back in. And I think that time is also convenient for network purposes. I think network are usually good in for most people. Okay, so how much is the robotics kit? The robotics kit is varying. All right, but then one of those things we are trying to do is that based on the number of requests, the number of people who are interested in robotics training, the bulk, when we are getting it in bulk, it costs down the price. Are you getting what I'm saying? It costs down the price, and then it helps to make it really, really affordable. But then depending on the kit size, the price varies from between 40,000 to 90,000, depending on the strength of the kit that we are getting. All right, details about that will also be shared with those people. Device, okay, we are using the laptop, Windows 10, we are using the laptop Windows 10, I have at least a 4 gig RAM, 500 gig hard disk. Yeah, if you have an iCore 3 processor at least, it's good. If you have less than that, but then you are already running programs on it and working effectively, it's not bad also. So, but then let's say that's the average requirement. Okay, yeah, this video, of course, each classes are also going to be recorded. Each classes of the training are going to be recorded. So what that means is that you will always have access to recorded classes after each class. So we are going to be recording each class on Zoom, and that's why we are using Zoom. If you use Google Meet, we may not be able to record classes, except we can record classes, but there's a peculiarity to that. But then we have subscriptions on Zoom. The classes are subscribed. We can easily record the classes and make it available to class. Okay, if you have Windows 7, you may need to upgrade. I think Scratch programming cannot really function well on Windows 7. We need to upgrade to Windows 10. Would there be, or you can upgrade? I'm sure it works with Windows 8, or you can, yeah. So the payment, like we said, for the payment, if you are part of this training, we've taken a snapshot of those people who are here. So you cannot come and say you're part of the class when you're not part. We know. Because I will just we'll pull out the snapshot of those who attended this meeting. For those who attend this webinar, you can still pay 27,500 if you are doing that before the end of 36 hours. 36 hours that's the next 1.5 day. If you can pay with before, let's say Monday, we're giving you a grace till Monday. Till Monday. If you can pay before Monday, hence that's before the end of February 15, you can pay, and you can pay in installment. You can pay 20,000 naira first and balance the rest, or pay 15,000 and balance the rest before the training commences on 20. All right. So I think it's about 10 o'clock now. I'll take all the questions, but then we'll soon be rounding up. If one already has one basic programming or Python skill, teach. Okay. The problem is that we have seen a number of people. We have a career page. You can go to TechBridge careers page if you already have the skill and you're already teaching. You're already teaching in this. You're already teaching. You already have experience teaching that program. Then you can go to our career page and apply. We'll sort through, but then we'll give priority to those people who pass through the training. But then apply through that place. We are looking for trainers who would attend to also that. But then it depends on your competence and how your CV is able to compete well with other people. So that's not certain. But then there's a career page. If you already have the skill and you think you don't need to go through the training again, perfect. Go to the TechBridge career page. Just dial.com.ng/careers. You will get the page. Okay, so our payments, okay, if you already belong to the WhatsApp group, that we created, we will drop the payment details there. But then if you are not and you want to be there, I'll drop my number now. Just chat me after this call. I will drop the account number for you directly, or apart from that, add you to the WhatsApp group. Then we'll drop the payment details generally for everyone to pick from there. Yes, there will be certificates after the training. Yeah, and that's one of the major colors to teach. Oh, of course, that's part of the push of the training. For those people who have the prowess to gather people, it's a major deal. It's a major deal for you. There's a major deal for you. So I think we can talk about that after the call also. But then that's part of what the program is also about. It's about mobilization, getting students to get the skill as quick as possible before they graduate from school. So if you have the ability to gather students, I think the program is really, really meant for you. And then beyond that, what app hold on your laptop? Okay, well, if it is working for you right now, it will work. If you cannot pay before Monday, well, if you can't pay before the training commences, it's less difficult. The implication is that you have to pay the standard fee. Okay, I think most of the questions have been answered. How much is the robotic kits? I've answered that. Since payment is accepted, how much can one pay first? You can pay 15,000 first, but ensure you balance up the training before the commencement. These are for confirmation. Can you repeat the amount to be paid before 15th? You have to pay at least 15,000 before 15th.
Hello.
Then, hello, I can hear you.
Yeah. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma. Good morning, ma. I can hear you. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Please, if I'm paying as an early bird. Hello.
Hello, yes, I can hear you.
Okay. If I'm paying as an early bird and I'm going to enjoy the discount, if I can pay 15,000 before 15, as you said, can I still pay the rest during the training?
We would appreciate that payment is made before the training commences. If you delay in payments, what that does is that you will not be able to come into the training until you balance. But then, of course, whenever you balance, you have the recording of the training. You can also still go through the assignments. You can quickly hedge up with students. But then, from past experiences, we don't want to allow people come into the training without having already balanced. So, because what happens is we keep chasing people until after the training they are not going to pay. Some people even at the end of the day not pay the money. So would appreciate balanced before the training commences. So, but then whatever you can do to at least seal up the space, if you are going to be able to pay 27,500, it means that you have to at least pay a deposit before Monday. Okay, I mean before the end of Monday. If you are not able to do that, you are going to be paying the normal price of 50,000. So, does the training content covers software design? As a matter of fact, if you are going through Python program, if you are learning a programming language, it's already setting you on for software engineering. It's already setting you on for software development. So if you learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to an extent, it's already set you already on the course for software engineering. You just need to solidify your skill in that respect, and then now channel it towards that path. If you learn Python programming, you're already on the path to machine learning, you're already on the path to data science, you're already on the path to software engineering, as it were. So you just need to expand your learning, learn more vigorously, collaborate with others, and before you know it, you are fully in that space.
All right.
Okay, so I want to appreciate everybody who is on the call.
Hello.
For coming. Okay, hello. Let's take one question before 10 hours.
Yeah, good morning, sir. I was the one that asked about like gathering people. Take for instance that I have maybe I go to enlighten a school, then I tell them about the program and they buy the idea. How do I get support from you people? Because I knowing that your address, your office is at Lagos, and me, I'm in Port Harcourt. How do we know what to do? How do I know what to do?
Great question. So I think what to do is that before going to the school to mobilize action, let us know. Once you're able to mobilize action for such, one of the things is we have a number of people who are also enrolling for this program from Port Harcourt. We are trying to raise a network of instructors, of STEM educators across different states. So in that situation, depending on the volume of training, in fact, because we're also having some engagement with state governments. So for instance, okay, don't let me spill the bean. But then what that does is that depending on the scale of the engagement, so you can have me even come to that state. We have states that we're going to be coming in, we'll come to the states, we'll deploy training, we'll set up boot camps. So depending on the scale, I can tell you that educators are going to be available. We will make provisions to ensure that those students are attended to. But then before you go, you could get you could get us in the talk, you could carry us along, and then we'll also have pre-discussed how much will be your own commission, what percentage of the training cost will go to you. So take for instance, if you are going to a school, for instance, or you are mobilizing a school, if you're able to convert that school and they are willing to pay, there's a percentage of the fee of whatever they are paying that goes to you. If you're able to get a government to sign up for the program, there's a percentage of the training that goes to you. But then, so there's in subsequent trainings that we're going to be having, we're going to have all of that discussed. But then it's an information that is to those people who are within the space, that are within the network. And you don't have to, as a matter of fact, you don't have to be a STEM educator to even be able to aggregate. You don't have to be an instructor, because not everybody is really willing to come and train students. So if you are not willing to train students, but you can mobilize students, yes, we are in need of it. And then we are willing to partner with you and make that stuff happen. So I think, like I did, let me drop my number again. I'll drop my phone number again now so that you can reach me after a call. Yes. So I just dropped my phone number. You can chat me on WhatsApp after, and then we can set up, we can have an engagement on what you're trying to do. And I can also add a little bit of knowledge to how we can do it properly so that you're able to achieve the goal. Okay, I think with that said, I want to appreciate everybody who's on the call this morning. It's a very good morning, good weekend. I'm wishing you a very good weekend. I want to thank you for coming on the call. Within the space of an hour or two, once the recording is ready, we'll make it available on the WhatsApp group. So if you're not on the WhatsApp group, ensure to chat me after this call. We'll add you to the WhatsApp group, and then we'll also be able to ensure that you are properly informed about how the program is going on. Okay, so with this, we want to bring the call to an end. I want to appreciate everybody who participated, who joined the meeting quite on time. You are solid. We appreciate you. I'm sure that this initiative will also help us to power Nigeria, to power the future for the country. Because I'm so confident that the growth of this nation is dependent on human capital development. We're able to come to a space whereby people are properly developed, prepared for the future of work, prepared to be self-reliant. There's a lot that has to do with the economy of the country. So once again, I want to appreciate everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming on the call. And with this, let's call it an end. Thank you so much.
because we don't take permission already.